to go inside. And this world, it's fabulous with its advertising, this great Maya. You just go down the street and you see all these billboards saying, buy this, buy that, and on it goes, trying, and it's very effective, to take us outside of ourselves, to take us more and more into the world of our senses. But with yoga and with meditation, it's the reverse of that. It's to take us inside and to experience, as Yogananda talked about, the portable paradise within. Talk about something attractive. Paradise. Everybody thinks of paradise as Goa, and there is a lot of paradise in Goa. There's no question, and other beautiful spots here in India and throughout the world. But the fact of the matter is most people go on vacation and need a vacation from their vacation. They overspend, the weather perhaps isn't what it seemed to be, on it goes. Although vacations are wonderful things, we well know. But what we want is to not have to rely on anything outside ourselves, so that we can always be happy. And what did Yogananda say about this? He said, and this is quite a statement, you must be very joyous and happy at all times. And when I find myself getting a little grumpy, I like that word, because it is a little joyful. It gives one hope, as opposed to negative, which seems like you're banned for eternity from higher consciousness. A little grumpy. So if I get a little grumpy, I think to myself, and it's become a mantra, you must be very joyous and happy at all times. I think, I must be out of tune. I must have gotten out of my center. I must have lost touch with my heart. I must not be here at the point between the eyebrows. All absolutely true. And so then we call on the saints and we call on the gurus and we begin to go inside and rediscover our own soul. I love the image of a submarine. When a submarine is on top of the waves, perhaps it's winter surf, it's very, very vulnerable, like any ship would be, especially if the surf is very high. But it's got a very nice feature. And the feature is, bye-bye, I'm heading out from these 20-foot waves. I'm going down to the very bottom of the ocean. I'm just going to sit there in perfect stillness. And so we too can be like human, or divine, better still, submarines, where we find ourselves caught by our own thoughts, worry thoughts. Yogananda talked about going on a worry fast. Who've heard of such a thing? Fabulous. If you're having trouble with worries, then break away and go on a fast from them. So we become like a submarine, and we go deep, deep into our own soul. And what do we find there? Absolutely everything that will make us an effective, joyous, loving human being. And that's why we meditate. Swami Kriyananda went so far as to say one time at a public lecture, I don't know how people can live without meditation. It was just a cry from his soul to others. I don't know how people can live without meditation. Why would he make such a statement? Well, obviously, he has found in his own life that meditation has been so life-changing. And so with Hong Sa, and I'll teach you the technique now. If any of you know the technique, then you can go deeper still in it. We often tease that we've taught these workshops many times, but we've also attended these workshops many times, because as Swami Kriyananda has often said, get back to the basics. One subtle thought of practice Hong Sa with devotion. One subtle thought of call upon the great saints to help you. They've perfected their practice. They meditate, yes, when they're here on this earth, but only as an example for others. And so what we're doing with Hong Sa, it's a simple mantra. Hong Sa, H-O-N-G, like rhyming with gong, and Sa, like sawing a board, S-A-U. Again, a Bij mantra. Hong Sa, what we're doing is simply watching the breath. And I like to use the image of a naturalist. The naturalist becomes an expert in his field, not necessarily by influencing the animal life, whatever it might be. It's simply watching. He's simply watching, and pretty soon he's an expert And he knows more about the hatis, the elephants, perhaps than they know about themselves, because he has simply watched season after season. People get themselves into endless trouble in this world because they don't know themselves. And through that lack of awareness, they don't make good decisions. Yogananda said, very simply, if you want to be happy, make good decisions. And so we make good decisions by becoming more aware. So the fruit of Hong Sa is growing awareness. The fruit of Hong Sa is growing concentration. The fruit of Hong Sa is the willingness and the courage to introspect. And so what we're doing with Hong Sa is we're simply tracking the breath. And when we say the mantra silently, Hong, we're watching as the breath flows into the nasal cavity, easy enough. And as we say the mantra Sa, then we observe the breath leaving the cavity. Hong as you inhale, Sa as you exhale. Well, the mind and the breath are very closely linked. And a lot of people oftentimes, when they find themselves perhaps in a mood, won't know what to do with it. And so that mood lingers for many, many minutes perhaps, maybe even longer. But when we go inside and begin to concentrate, and this practice is very effective for this, we find just by watching the breath slows down and gives us the message and gives us the experience of this inner stillness. And springing forth magically from this inner stillness is that joy that was eluding us, is that love that was eluding us, is that quiet, still mind. The mind is as hard to harness as the wind. And so many times, like my mother, I would teach her Hong Sa. She lived in California. And so I would visit her there. And she'd say, would you teach me the Hong Sa? Teaching you just a little bit now doesn't mean that you're going to be abandoned. There are so many resources, so many books. There's a lifetime of teachings in the work of Yogananda and Swami Kriyananda that will be very supportive of your practice. So, sitting up straight, checking the spine, which is very important. Let's inhale and tense and vibrate our bodies. Throw the breath out, exhale. I'm going to teach you the double breath, which is a part of Yogananda's energization exercises. I won't go into the exercises now, but since I did the double breath, I might as well share it with you. It goes like this. Short, long through the nostrils. Short, long through the mouth. Then we'll tense the body simultaneously. And so let's do this together. Exhale. Again, inhale. Tense and vibrate the body. Throw the breath out. One more time. Throw the breath out. Okay. Now, close your eyes as I'm now going to guide you through this Hong Sa practice. Just as we're trying to still the mind, which is very important, and still the heart too, we want to start first with the easiest thing, to still the body. And so try to still the body as best you can, and that will signal the mind and the heart to be still as well. And so close your eyes, look up to the point between the eyebrows, and so that we don't create tension there, think in terms of the light which will form when the mind is still out about an arm's length. So you turn your eyes upward with the lids closed or half closed as you feel, and we can begin practicing our Hong Sa together. Hong as we inhale, as we watch the breath flowing in through the nasal cavity. Sa as we exhale. I am He is the definition of Hong Sa. What does that mean? I am love, I am joy, I am all the spiritual qualities that we are all in common seeking. Hong as we inhale, Sa as we exhale. The key for our meditation is deeper and deeper relaxation. And so let's practice Hong Sa now together. Again, the spine straight. This is very important because there's currents that flow in the spine, and you can check it. You can experiment. If you bend your spine over, you'll find that the energy, like a hose, is crimped. You straighten your spine. It's why teachers are always saying when the students perhaps are being a little unruly, straighten up, straighten up. They know, as perhaps yogis of the past, that a straight spine is very, very important. So, Hong as we inhale, Sa as we exhale, a silent mantra of tremendous power. And as we are doing this technique, draw the mind back again and again and again. Patience is a shortcut to finding God. That's a wonderful, wonderful truth. Patience is a shortcut to finding God. And so when the thoughts wander, then say thank you. Thank you for giving me the challenge to draw you back 1,000,000 times if necessary. Yogananda said, I've come to pilot you out of the clouds of your mind. And that's what we have, these clouds, these thoughts. And so bring the practice back again and again and again and again, knowing that we are being helped by God, who's the true guru, and by the great ones that are doing all that they can to inspire our deep concentration. Hong as we inhale, Sa as we exhale. Let's practice for a few minutes silently. Okay, good for now. Let's put the practice to the side and just simply enjoy the peace that comes from this dynamic practice of Hong Sa. This is a very good time to practice prayer. Prayer and meditation are like brothers, sisters. You can send through your spiritual eye light and blessings to loved ones, to those here, to this wonderful experience here at the Expo, that all those that come are blessed with light. We're all instruments. The instrument is blessed by that which flows through it. As Yogananda said, little do people know what radical changes can be possible through prayer. A wonderful practice after our meditation, practicing prayer. Oh, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So for any of you that are new to the practice of meditation, then we hope that you had a little taste of the blessing that comes from this. And really, you can practice just a few minutes in the morning to set the tone for the day, longer if you can, and again in the evening to give the day back. A couple of times a day and throughout the day too, if at all possible. And you will see bit by bit that India has given this world a very, very, very precious gift in the art of meditation. So I'll turn now the rest of the program over to Nayaswami Devarshi. Thank you again, and God bless your efforts on the spiritual path and in meditation.
Thank you, Haridas. Recently, I was driving to Mumbai and to buy a flat, as always, 3 years ago. And what it meant was that prices are always going up, and everyone says, oh, I wish I would have bought 3 years ago. But then it asked a very clever and interesting question. Where will you be 3 years from now? implying that if you buy a flat now, 3 years from now, if you do, you'll be happy and you'll be fulfilled and glad that you bought 3 years ago. You could say the same with meditation practice. You will find that if you make and establish a strong meditation practice, consistent, stay with it over the days, over the months, 3 years from now you will look back and you will realize that you have completely changed as a person in so many positive ways. This film that will be shown this evening, 5:30, Finding Happiness, as part of the film festival, shows a community of people who have been practicing Kriya Yoga meditation, many of them for 20, 30, 40 years. And you see some extraordinary people there. One of the beautiful things of the community started by Swami Kriyanandaji is that people are unfailingly kind, compassionate, generous-hearted, giving, positive, joyful, successful in so many ways. And people come to Ananda and they look at all these people who have universally these qualities, and they think that maybe it's a requirement for membership that you are already joyful, positive, compassionate. And they think that all these people arrived at Ananda Village already made that way. I sometimes think that for the path of Kriya Yoga, we should copy the advertising world. You will see, I've seen it in India, it's more common in America, when they're trying to advertise a particular type of diet. They have before the diet photo, after the diet photo. The before photo shows someone heavy, looking sad, overweight. The after photo shows them happy,